Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is present, everyone. Welcome back for some more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. It looks like Tom Cruise done messed up this time, and I'm a little confused by this because this seems like an obvious layup for Tom Cruise just to slam dunk some good PR for one of Scientology's smallest members but biggest movie stars, Lil Tommy Cruise. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I'm curious to get your guys' feedback on this as well, because there must be some power dynamics in play in Hollywood that I'm not aware of, because this just seems like such an obvious move for Tom that he's neglecting to take. We're going to look at some of the press coverage on this, but first I want to show you some coverage from a relatively small YouTube channel. A viewer sent me a clip to this. This is absolutely hilarious, and I wanted to share this with you. Let's check this out.
This week's Rich Dick is Tom Cruise. During the ongoing Hollywood writers and actors strike, you've seen a number of big-name celebrities on the picket lines. David Duchovny's been there, Susan Sarandon, Ted Lasso himself, Jason Sudeikis, Kevin Bacon, who of course is the link to every other movie star. You know who you haven't seen, though, and likely won't see on the picket for the duration of the strike? The king of cinema and operating Thetan level 8, Tom Cruise. According to Variety, instead of showing solidarity with his fellow actors, Cruise is trying to get the union to make exceptions so that actors like him can promote the studio's new films. His new Mission Impossible movie just hit theaters. From Variety, quote, "The stakes are so high on summer films like Dead Reckoning Part 1, Barbie, and Oppenheimer that Tom Cruise asked SAG-AFTRA to allow movie stars to continue promoting their new films, given the challenging theatrical landscape. The union countered by asking Cruise to join the picket lines, noting that having one of the world's biggest movie stars visibly in its corner would send a strong message to the studios. Cruise was non-committal, but offered to assist in other ways." Well,
okay, now let's jump forward to 1648.
But Tom is a company man, just like he's a church man, and both come with privileges. For example, as a dominant figure in the Church of Scientology, he reportedly was provided with slaves to do work for him. According to Radar Online, emails show that church members were required to put in thousands of hours of work to build things for Tom, including a luxury bus. Another job involved renovating his home in Beverly Hills. And one former church member said he was paid $1 an hour for the work. Well, I can see why he'd feel awkward on a picket line then. Two things you should never ask Tom Cruise. One, do you support a strike? And two, where is Shelly Miscavige?
It is amazing how much David Miscavige's missing wife, Shelly Miscavige, and knowledge of this has infiltrated its way into popular media. And of course, it's inevitable that Tom Cruise's involvement or lack thereof in the actors' strike is going to also bring Scientology along for the ride of bad PR. And that's why I'm like, I don't understand why he's not using this as an opportunity to look like a warrior for the common man, the common actor, the journeyman. Okay, so there's another a particular article that we are going to look at here from the AV Club. Let me bring it up. Here it is. All right, let's just take a look at this, because even this article mentions Scientology. We're not going to go through this whole article, but I just want to show you some parts of it. Famed lightning rod Tom Cruise strikes again. Famed lightning rod Tom Cruise strikes again on actors' strike. Okay. Let me zoom in on this a bit. All right, let's take a look at this. Cruise finds himself trapped between a rock and a hard place, wherein both the rock and the hard place are existential threats to the entertainment industry as we know it. On the one hand, movies as a business are in critical danger, particularly after the pandemic did serious financial damage to theaters everywhere. On the other hand, acting as a profession is at risk, with the majority of working actors struggling to make a living, their jobs jeopardized by the looming specter of artificial intelligence. So how does the savior of cinema deal with a crisis from all corners? As we've seen so far, there's been an attempt to play both sides. Cruise participated in a negotiating session between SAG-AFTRA and AMPTP in June, the highest profile member of the union to do so. Cruise reportedly joined to throw his support behind SAG-AFTRA's concerns regarding AI, as well as to advocate on behalf of stunt performers. However, he also apparently advocated for the guild to allow performers to promote their movies, a task which qualifies as struck work amid a work stoppage. The conversation was uncomfortable, according to a THR source, but Cruise had his own concerns about the fragile state of movie theaters. Guild leadership countered by asking Cruise to join the picket lines, noting that having one of the world's biggest movie stars visibly in its corner would send a strong message to the studios. Cruise allegedly would not commit to walking the line, but offered to assist in other ways. No promotional waiver has been granted to Tom Cruise. I cannot there's a little bit more of this article that I want to show you, particularly where Scientology gets brought up. I just cannot, for the life of me, even think of a downside to Tom if he were to agree to show up on the picket line. I saw someone in the comments section mention that it would make him look greedy. That is so far from the truth. Nobody thinks that Tom Cruise is picketing for higher wages. And of course, the media would swarm Tom Cruise, and he would say, "I'm not here for me. I don't. I'm in the upper 10th of the upper 10th percent. I'm a Scientologist. Haven't you heard? I'm here for everyone else." I mean, particularly when he has so much on the line right now with a major movie in the theaters. Guys, in the live chat, tell me, what in the world, let's play devil's advocate. What in the world does Tom have to lose by going on the picket line? Like, maybe it puts him in bad with the studios. Maybe he feels that he has more to gain from siding with studios than he does from siding with the union. But my God, you'd think the PR value alone to just showing up on the picket lines. And even if the media, even if the media turned it into just a media shit show, it's like, but okay, but isn't that what you want? Don't you want as many eyeballs and as much media attention as possible on your strike? Like if I'm a striking actor and Tom Cruise shows up and the media only cares about Tom Cruise, am I going to be pissed off that they only care about Tom Cruise? No, because Tom would be in front of the cameras saying, yes, I'm here to bring attention to the other people that are here striking with me. Like, no one's going to blame Tom Cruise for the media being infatuated with Tom Cruise. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's take a look at another part of this here. Yeah, because the union reps have even been mentioning him. Anyway, Tom Cruise is everywhere and nowhere. SAG-AFTRA president Fran Drescher, presumably in the room when Cruise joined the negotiations, made an example out of him, apparently unprompted, in an interview with Variety. Remember, Tom Cruise and top people make their own deals. That is not who we are striking for. We are striking for the journeyman. That statement right there is exactly why if Tom Cruise showed up to the picket lines, nobody would be confused as to why he was there. I'm here to support the people. I'm here to support the other people who are here and need these new deals. Not me. I'm here to bring attention to what they need. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk, double striking as a member of both the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA, responded to a question from the Wrap about general actors who wanted a waiver for promotion while he walked the picket line. Cruise was not named, but he's the only actor current making headlines for doing so. Don't, was Odenkirk's advice. It's a strike. Strike. You lose, we lose, everybody loses. That's tough shit. Odenkirk is one of the many stars who's been out on the line since the WGA began striking in May. Now that SAG-AFTRA is on strike, there will likely be even more famous faces populating the picket line. As yet, though, no one of Cruise's caliber has joined the picket. That's a little unfair. There are actually some extremely famous actors who have joined the picket line. Maybe those actors don't necessarily bring in the box office that Tom Cruise does, but there are people I would consider A-listers. But you know, just yeah. I'm hesitant to name them for just. I'm afraid I would make a mistake by incorrectly naming someone or leaving someone out. But it's just not true that other big stars have not been on the picket line. Okay. A-listers have certainly supported the strike, but mostly from afar. Okay, man, I just do not know why these A-listers would not want to get in there, even if only for PR value. I just do not get it. Okay, because of Tom Cruise's waiver request, or perhaps because he's recently been elevated to cinema's most ardent protector, Cruise is the one catching the most heat for not showing up in person. Quote, Tom Cruise does not care about this shit because he's in the top 1% and rich AF. His net worth is probably like $1 billion. Of course he doesn't care. Then there's another line of thinking as to why Cruise wouldn't or shouldn't show up. It would be chaotic. The streets would be swarmed with people. It would be about him and not the strike. It's not worth it. I wonder if the reason why we haven't seen many A-list actors on the picket line is because it would further the incorrect assumption that this is about the already wealthy actors and not about those living paycheck to paycheck. Curious if their visibility would be helpful. This is actually one of the main things I'm curious to get your guys' feedback on, either in the live chat or in the comment section for the replay crew. Is anybody really under the assumption that it's the gazillionaire actors who are want to renegotiate for more pay? Is there anybody really under that assumption? If you were Fran Drescher, the president of SAG-AFTRA, I guess that's after SAG. I always thought it was SAG-AFTRA. Would you advise A-listers to stay away so as not to forward the perception that this was about actors being greedy? I just cannot get behind that way of thinking. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let's take a look at this because we haven't even gotten to the Scientology part yet. To address one set of complaints, it's clear that caring too little is not the issue. If there's one thing we know Tom Cruise cares about, it's movies, and helping SAG-AFTRA succeed in their aims is the best way for him to support movies at this time. Well, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. As far as swarming the picket line goes, visibility is clearly what SAG-AFTRA is after. They wouldn't have asked Cruise to join the line if they didn't feel his presence could be helpful. Exactly. See, they did ask him to join the line. That's the thing. She did. Fran was like, hey, join the line. He's like, no. How the hell? I mean, what? Okay, and while the public's assumptions about the relative wealth and glamour associated with acting is one of the major PR hurdles of a Hollywood strike, the priority ultimately is getting through not to the average audience member, but to the execs behind AMPTP. Yes. That's actually a very important point. Who really cares if the public perception is about rich actors being greedy when it's the AMPT? Is it PTP? I was getting it wrong. The AMPTP. Anyway, I'm not trying to second guess the decisions of the people running this strike, but yeah, I guess what I wanted to say there is if the message your strike, if the recipient of the message of your striking, if the intended recipient is the AMPTP, then having the movie industry's biggest, most bankable actors on the picket line with your strike does send that message to the AMPTP, regardless of whether the media wants to perhaps misconstrue the strike as greedy rich actors being greedy, right? Okay, that's how I'm thinking about it right now. Okay, and what would sway those businessmen more than a solid box office bet like Tom Cruise? Indeed. Still, it's hard to imagine Cruise on the picket line, not because it doesn't care, not because it would cause a riot or create wealth discourse, but because it's hard to imagine Tom Cruise moving amongst mere mortals these days. I totally disagree. You see Tom Cruise at baseball games, you see him at basketball games, like anyway. Let's see. Here comes the Scientology stuff is coming up here. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Cruise's strategic silence has become a double-edged sword in the wake of the strike. In a way, it has served as image rehabilitation. Dodging questions about his involvement with Scientology has been massaged into something like a sacrificial duty to audiences, writes the New York Times. He goes away so that audiences may experience the thrill of his reappearance and delight in the promise of movie magic he heralds. Yet in the context of the strike, his silence becomes problematic. It allows audiences to project upon him the worst intentions and isolates him from his union. which wants him to use his platform to speak up on his behalf. Perhaps he'll assist in other ways. That will become clear in time. Perhaps if the strike goes on long enough, he'll even concede to marching on the picket line. Until then, he'll likely remain a lightning rod at the center of every conversation without actually being a part of the conversation at all. You know, in the video that I showed in the beginning, it mentions like, really, Tom Cruise supporting a strike, a unionized labor initiative, when his best friend runs a human trafficking cult whose entire operation is predicated on slave labor. Scientology Sea Org members working for slave wages assigned to work for Tom Cruise, to be part of his household staff, to recruit and manage his household staff, to build him cars, to paint his motorcycles, you know, to outfit his airplane hangar. It is almost comedic. And yet I still go back to this point of, it seems like the easiest possible PR layup that Tom Cruise could make here. And yet he's dropping the ball. I would almost go so far as to say that if Tom Cruise gets on the picket line, it's going to be because David Miscavige tells him he's dropping the ball on the PR game here. That's I mean, we're in pure speculation territory here, but that's why I go, there must be something about the power dynamics at play here between the studios and the producers. They're striking against the studios. I guess I don't actually truly understand what the AMPTP is. I don't know. It's not a union. I truly don't understand. I should have looked it up and I haven't. But you know, Tom Cruise is part of the Producers Guild and he's part of the Actors Guild. Why wouldn't he be doing absolutely everything possible to support the Actors Guild? What am I missing here? You guys know, I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm actually a member of the Screen Actors Guild. I've never done an audition. I've never had a line in anything. I've never taken an acting class, but I did a whole bunch of extra work and stand-in work and a little bit of stunt work for a couple years when I was living in Hollywood. And I managed to become eligible to join the Screen Actors Guild. And I did join the Screen Actors Guild. And that was a long ass time ago though, but I still have my SAG card. Yeah, what do you guys think about this? I want to look in the live chat and see some things that I'm missing here. Let's see. Not needing the small actors anymore means also no need of costumer, makeup artists, and so on. All the little people that makes it are all out of a job. Yeah, this strike is pretty devastating. I've been looking at a lot of the coverage on the strike, and it seems to me that the matter of AI is really being overblown in the press as far as its role in the importance of this strike. It seems to me that streaming services and the payment structure and residual structure of the streaming services is really more what is at issue, for the reason why actors and writers are finding it so much more difficult to support themselves in the industry. The AI thing seemed to be a bit of a red herring. I saw a piece that had to do with extras, and if you worked as an extra, they would scan your likeness and be able to use your likeness from then on. That turned out to be a false report. That was actually not accurate. It was more like if you showed up as an extra for one on that one project, program, movie or TV show that you were working on, they would be able to, with your consent and after paying you extra consideration, be able to use your likeness for the remainder of that movie and that show. So that was not as egregious of an issue as it was originally made out to be. But it does seem to me that this centers mostly around the streaming issue. Yeah. All right, let's jump over to the super chats here. Lisa Marchbanks, please post the original link to this story. I did. It's already down below in the description. I did it before I went live. I posted the link to the YouTube channel, to the YouTube video, and also to the AV Club article that we were just reading from. Rich Dick just sounds too good not to spend more time with. Thank you, Lisa. Free Xenu Project. If Tom Cruise wants to be a hero, he should donate his wages to Child Protective Services for a year. I guess that would be one way to do it. Thank you, Free Xenu Project. Michelle Carpenter, maybe he doesn't want to be put in a position where he's publicly defending laborers because he'll be asked about the Sea Org so fast. You know, that is a pretty good guess there. That's a pretty good guess. But I got to tell you, any journalist or reporter who would turn. So if Tom Cruise were to show up on the picket line to support the actors, and if a journalist like an honest journalist, particularly in Hollywood, would use that as an opportunity to help support the actors strike. I think anybody who used that as an opportunity to try to embarrass or humiliate Tom regarding Scientology and the Sea Org would find themselves in a pretty tough spot professionally, in my opinion. But it's a pretty good guess. Let's see. Lisa Marchbanks, does anyone really believe Tom Cruise gives a shit? He clearly doesn't. He does seem to care more about protecting movie theaters themselves than he does fellow actors, which is just strange to me. Free Xeno Project, if they wanted someone to strike for low-paid actors, Keanu Reeves would be their man. Wow, if Keanu hasn't already been on the picket line, I would be surprised. That really is kind of right up his alley. Sarah S., couch jumper deadbeat dad Tom Cruise isn't known for wise PR. Sarah, just to be as accurate as possible, even though Tom Cruise has disconnected from Suri and seems to have disowned her, one thing no one has ever accused him of is not paying child support. So, yeah, whatever agreement he put in place with Katie Holmes regarding child support and whatever, I think we can assume he's actually kept that part of the agreement, at least. The Lifeboat, Tommy Scoville, how you doing, my friend? Maybe he's there and just so short that he's hidden by the picket signs. That is actually very, very likely. I mean, you guys know the last place. No, I always make the David Miscavige joke that David Miscavige is hiding either in Tom Cruise's duffel bag or Joe Rogan's fanny pack. I've never made any jokes about where Tom Cruise is hiding, though. But yeah, he's just blocked by the picket signs and all those other striking writers and actors. That is a pretty damn good guess. All right, everyone, just wanted to share that with you. I do think I still have one more up my sleeve for today, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, if I don't see you later today, I will see you tomorrow. Hope everyone has a fantastic Friday. Thank everyone for watching. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right